My name is Ashley Sullivan, and I'm the Executive Director of Rozalia Project for a Clean Ocean. I'm also one of the captains of our oceanographic sailing research vessel, American Promise. Getting back on the water in 2022 was huge for us. We have spent the past 2.5 years out of the water because of this ongoing pandemic. So our main goal was to launch American Promise and get back to coastal communities and remote islands in Maine, engaging in our cleanups, our outreach, and our education programs in person. The main focus of our expedition season in 2022, with our ongoing microplastics and microfiber research continuing, it was an opportunity for us to re-engage in person with our microfiber education programs, our marine debris education programs, and also get ourselves out to remote areas along the coast of Maine, removing as much derelict fishing gear as possible. One of our biggest accomplishments this season was that we were able to engage over 400 people in 13 unique cleanups. And throughout those cleanups, we removed over 8,000 pounds of debris and recorded and cataloged each individual piece of over 20,000 pieces. The majority of that trash was plastic related, both consumer debris, and a huge portion of it was derelict fishing gear from the coast of Maine. This season, we had an opportunity to work with over 370 young learners. These were students from urban coastal communities of Boston and local suburbs to remote areas, coastal communities in Maine, communities that are being really impacted by the problem of marine debris. And through our education programs, we were able to introduce topics of marine debris, talk about the life cycles of plastic, which for young children is sometimes difficult to understand, the permanence of it in our environment, and also introduce our microfiber and microplastic lesson plans. Throughout presentations and community open boats, we were able to reach over 1,000 people in direct one-on-one contact that had a chance to be introduced to the organization, get on board American Promise, and also learn more about our work and the impact that we are having on our oceans. In 2019, we were invited to Marblehead, Massachusetts, and Marblehead is a really special community because it is where American Promise was built 37 years ago. The boat has a real legacy and a history there in that community, and there is also a huge movement in that community towards sustainability and awareness because of their relationship and proximity to the Atlantic Ocean. So we were invited back in 2022 and spent 5 days there in early June celebrating World Oceans Week in partnership with the town. And it was amazing. We worked with 3 different schools and had a lot of community engagement from open boats, education programs, a movie night, cocktail parties to share our work and also honoring her legacy now of the work that she's doing cleaning and protecting the ocean. I think what I'm most proud of is our resiliency. We spent 2.5 years out of the water, pivoting, trying to engage our community in a way that we really hadn't before, in a very virtual way. To have made it through that and be able to launch the boat and re-engage with our community, with old friends, new partners, and fill the boat with 48, almost 50 amazing volunteers that came from all over the world to join us. All of that enabled us to get back out into the communities and do the work that we love to do. So, having a chance to get back on the ocean, be inspired, it really fills our cup. I think for our team, it's important that we spend these chunks of time on the ocean reconnecting with the beauty because it helps us remember why we do this work and why we protect it. I know in trying to solve the problem of marine debris, it's really complicated. And it takes so many of us coming together. As a nonprofit organization, we are not successful unless we have dedicated corporate partnerships, dedicated individuals that volunteer their time, staff on our team that can tell our story, that can write grants, that can find funding to do the work that we know our oceans so desperately need. It's critical for us to succeed. And, these partnerships, I always like to say they're beyond transactional. They are true collaborations where we can accomplish what we know needs to happen to protect the ocean, cleaning it up, raising awareness, educating the future change makers of tomorrow. And that happens through these really important collaborations, both corporations, government, individuals, other nonprofits. All of these people and organizations have a role to play in our success. When you head to these remote areas in Maine, if it's a new location that you've never been to, perhaps another organization or an individual has identified that there's a need there. So you book a couple days, build a budget, collaborate with other nonprofits, resources to get the cleanup done. And then when you get there, you realize that the scope of the project is really beyond what you have allotted time for. We found that on Outer Bar off of Korea Harbor this summer. And it really became a call to action that, wow, we've got to go back. We just made a dent. We removed over 4,000 pounds of debris in 2 days, but we just scratched the surface. So we were able to get a lot of great footage and really understand the scope of that problem. And we'll be back there in 2023 with a bigger crew to finish what we started. We are hoping to really scale up our remote island cleanups in Maine. We are looking at some important funding that will really build a New England collaborative that will enable us to respond in different areas of the coast of Maine, in the Gulf of Maine. So that's really, really exciting. It could expand our operation up to 4 weeks, 6 weeks in just remote island areas, which would be really critical. And also really expanding our education programs. We've got a lot of partners, now being back out on the water after a couple years gave us some really great exposure. So we've been in contact with a lot of new partners that are looking to collaborate in the coming year, which we're excited about. And then we're also working on some citizen science, a global project that I can't share it all, but we're really, really excited about that, so stay tuned. On behalf of our board of directors, the staff, our amazing volunteers, thank you. Thank you so much, because we could not do what we do without you.